Hello students, today we are going to see a new topic, that is Ampere circuited law. So before going to see this topic, let me recall the previous topics. So in previous class, we studied about magnetic field due to current carrying arc. Okay, if we have a coil which is not complete 360-degree, which have certain angle like 90-degree, 270-degree or 180-degree, something like that, then we have to apply the new formula, that is current carrying arc. So what is the formula to find the magnetic field due to arc? B equal to mu naught by 2 I by A theta by 2 pi, where theta is radian. And then we study about semi-infinite wire, right? So if it is semi-infinite wire, then we have to consider a parallel line. So there is a rule, two parallel lines meet at infinity. So to find the magnetic field produced by the semi-infinite wire, we use the equation, straight current carrying conductor equation, that is B equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by A sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. So what is the first angle? First angle is 90-degree. So sin 90 plus, what is the second angle? Second angle is 0. Okay. So sin 90 plus sin 0, sin 90 is 1. So our equation will be mu naught by 4 pi I by A. So this is the equation to find the magnetic field produced by the semi-infinite wire. So today the topic is Ampere's circuital law. So this is an alternative law which is used to find the magnetic field, magnitude of magnetic field. Okay. Have you ever noticed the similarities between chapter 1 and chapter 4? So in chapter 1, we study about electric field, electric charge, right? Gauss law, Coulomb's law. So similarly, in chapter 4, we say it as magnetic field and magnetic charge. So in order to find the magnitude of electric field, we use Coulomb's law, right? In chapter 1, we use Coulomb's law to find the magnitude of electric field. In this chapter, similarly, to find the magnitude of magnetic field, we use Biot-Savart law. So Biot-Savart law is used to find the magnetic field, magnitude of magnetic field. So in that chapter, we used some alternative method to find the electric field of arbitrary shape or symmetry shape like sphere, solid sphere or charged shell, plane sheet, length wire. So to find the magnetic field of all these shapes, we use one method, that is Gauss law. Okay. So by using Gauss law, we can find the magnetic field of charged plane sheet or length wire or charged sphere, right? So similarly, this Ampere circuital law is an alternative method to find the magnetic field of any arbitrary or symmetrical shape. Okay. So in Gauss law, we say E equal to, or E dot dA equal to Q by epsilon naught. E is the electric field by charges inside as well as outside the Gaussian surface. Q is charges present only inside the surface. So similarly, we are going to study Ampere circuital law in the same manner which we already studied in Gauss law. Okay. So consider two straight current carrying wire. So in one wire, current is going inwards. Okay, if this is one wire, current is going inwards. So I put cross here. In another wire, current is coming outwards. So I put dot here. Consider a point P from that wire. Consider a point P from that wire where we have to calculate the magnetic field. Okay, here we have to calculate the magnetic field. So before finding the magnetic field at point P, we have to consider a loop on the point P. This loop is known as Ampere's loop. Okay, this loop is known as Ampere's loop. So in this loop, current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. So because of the current, we get some magnetic field at point P, right? Because of current flowing through these two straight conductors, we get magnetic field on point P. We consider a small length element dl throughout the Ampere loop. okay, small length element dl. Okay, so the formula to find the magnetic field due to this current carrying wire at point P will be equal to closed integral of d dot dl equal to mu naught I inside. Okay, so this is the formula to find the magnetic field due to current carrying wire, right? So this is Ampere circuital law, B dot dl equal to mu naught I inside. So very similar to Gauss law. In Gauss law we study E dot dA equal to Q by epsilon naught. So kindly remember, E means electric field due to charges present inside the Gaussian surface as well as outside the Gaussian surface. So what is mean by Gaussian surface here? A surface which we used to find the electric field. Okay, we choose a surface where we have to find the electric field, that is Gaussian surface. Here we say it as Ampere's loop or Ampere surface, a loop which we consider where we have to find the magnetic field. Okay, so here E means electric field due to charges present inside the Gaussian surface as well as outside the Gaussian surface. Then what is mean by Q? Q means charges only present inside the surface. For example, we have a surface like this. We have a charge Q1, Q3 and Q2. So what is E here? Electric field produced by all the three charges inside the Gaussian surface as well as outside the Gaussian surface. Okay, then what is Q here? Q means summation of charges only present inside the Gaussian surface. So we can say Q equal to Q1 plus Q3. Okay, we leave Q2 because Q2 is outside the surface, Gaussian surface. So similarly, here B means magnetic field due to the current inside as well as outside the Ampere's loop. Okay, magnetic field due to the current inside as well as outside the Ampere's loop. Then what is mu naught I? I means current only inside the loop. Okay, current only inside the loop. So we take it, this current as I1, this current I2. Okay, so we can say I1 is positive in one direction, I2 completely in opposite direction. So we say I2 is negative. Then what is I inside? So we can say I1 minus I2. So this is the value of I inside. Okay. So what is this equation? This equation known as line integration of magnetic field. So in chapter 2 we study E dot dA or E dot dl, that is line integration of electric field. Here this equation is known as line integration of magnetic field. Okay. So this is the Ampere circuital law, B dot dl equal to mu naught I. So what is dl? dl means length element in the Ampere loop, similar to dA. Okay, dl means length element in the Ampere loop. Okay, so we can apply this law applicable only for B is tangential and non-zero and constant. Okay, the value of B is tangential, non-zero and constant. Or the next condition is B should be perpendicular to dl, length element. The value of magnetic field should be perpendicular to length element. Okay, then we have another condition. So we can say here B dot dl. In order to remove the dot product, we add cos theta. So B dl cos theta, okay, equal to mu naught I inside. So we can say B, if we say theta equal to 90 degree, then what is the value of cos 90? Cos 90 is 0. So our magnetic field will become 0. If theta is 0 degree, then cos 0 is 1. Then our magnetic field will become maximum. Okay, here our magnetic field is minimum, here magnetic field is maximum. Okay, so we consider a loop. So this is our loop. So current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. Current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction. So we get magnetic field tangential to the value, tangential to the loop. Okay, so we get magnetic field like this. This is our magnetic field at this point. If we take this point, then tangential like this, our magnetic field. Okay, so if magnetic field is tangential, then what is the angle? Angle is 0. Okay, so this is the direction of current and this is the direction of length element. So the angle between B and DL will be equal to 0 because both direction of magnetic field as well as length are same. So we can say the angle is 0. If it is 90 degree, then our magnetic field will become 0. Okay, if it is 90 degree, the angle is 90 degree, then the magnetic field will become 0. Okay. If I take another two current, like this is our I3, this is our I4, then what is the value of B and mu inside? That is I inside. What is the value of B and I inside? So here B, magnetic field due to all the current, that is I1, I2, I3 and I4. Okay, magnetic field due to all the currents. Mu naught, sorry, I inside only due to I1 and I2, that is enclosed by the ampere loop. So B is due to all the four currents, but I inside only due to these two currents. Okay, I1, I2. So we can say I inside as I1 minus I2 because one is going inwards, another one is coming upwards. So one is positive value, another one is negative value. Okay, so magnetic field is considered as the magnetic field produced by all the four currents, even though it is inside or it is outside. Okay, I is considered only the current which is present inside the Ampere's loop. So here inside the Ampere's loop we have only two currents, I1 and I2. So we are going to find the magnetic field due to straight current carrying wire by using Ampere circuital law. Okay, so here we have a straight wire which carries high amount of current and the wire is infinite in both ends. Okay, infinite in both ends. We know the formula. If the current is flowing through semi-infinite wire, then what is the formula? So by using magnetic field due to straight current carrying wire, mu naught by 4 pi I by A sin phi 1 plus sin phi 2. So this is the formula to find the magnetic field due to straight current carrying conductor. Okay, so if the wire is semi-infinite, then we take phi 1 as 90 degree, phi 2 as 0 degree. Okay, semi-infinite, we have one end to draw the parallel line. Okay, we draw a parallel line. This parallel means it creates an angle of 90 degree. Okay, with the horizontal line, with the radius, it creates an angle of 90 degree. Okay, if you draw a parallel line. In another end, we don't have any wire. In another end, we don't have this wire. So for this value, we take 90 degree, phi 1 as 90 degree. For another value, we take phi 2 as 0 degree. Then our magnetic field equation will be equal to B equal to mu naught by 4 pi I by A. Okay, mu naught by 4 pi I by A. Sin 90 value will be equal to 1. If we have an infinite wire, then we get the angle for phi 2 also. Okay, so for here we draw one parallel line, it create an angle of 90 degree. So these two parallel line will meet at infinity, okay, for our assumption. Then we have another end wire also. So for this wire also we have to draw a perpendicular line. So if we draw another parallel line here, then this wire also create an angle of 90 degree. So here our phi 1 will become 90 degree and our phi 2 will become 90 degree. So in this equation, if you put 90 degree here, okay, 90 degree here, so sin phi 1, sin 90, here we get value of 1. Here also we'll get value 1. Okay, so 1 plus 1, 2. So we can write 2I by A, right? 2I by A. So if it is semi-infinite wire, then we get I by A. If it is infinite wire in both ends, infinite in both ends, then we get 2I by A. Okay, so we are going to get the equation by using Ampere's circuital law. So consider a wire which carries current I, an infinite wire. Consider a point P where we have to calculate the magnetic field. So at the point P, as usual, we have to draw one loop. That loop is known as Ampere's loop or Ampere's circuital loop. Okay, so in this loop we are going to find the magnetic field, right? So this is the top view of the loop. This is our top view. Okay, if this is our loop, if you look at from the top, then it will be visible like this. So our radius will taken as A, the radius of the loop. So this radius will taken as A. Okay, so current is flowing in the loop, we can say dot. Current is flowing outwards from the loop. Okay, so this is our wire, current is coming outwards towards our views. Okay, so this is our loop, Ampere circuital loop. We look at from the top, we get a circle shape. So this is the radius of the loop. Okay, this is the radius of the loop. So we consider a small length element anywhere on the loop. Then what is the magnetic field at this point? Magnetic field at this point. So current is coming towards us. Okay, current is coming towards us. Then our 4 curl finger shows the magnetic field. So current is coming towards us. 4 curl finger shows the magnetic field. So curl finger is in anti-clockwise direction, right? So this is our magnetic field. Okay, if you take any point, if you take this is our DL, then what is the magnetic field at this point? Okay, at this point. So this point also, this is our magnetic field. Okay, so if you curl your fingers, your thumb finger coming upwards because dot current, so current is coming upwards from the straight conductor, and our magnetic field tangential like this. Okay, this is our magnetic field. If you consider a point here, then our magnetic field will go like this. If you consider a point here, a length element DL, then this is our magnetic field. So magnetic field will be in anti-clockwise direction as well as tangential to the Ampere circuital loop. Okay, tangential to the Ampere circuital loop. So now write the formula for Ampere circuital law. So what is the formula? B dot DL equal to mu naught I inside. So this is the Ampere circuital formula. Okay, so in order to remove the dot product, we add cos theta. B dl cos theta equal to mu naught I inside. Okay, so take B outside, magnetic field constant. What is the integration of dl? Integration of dl will be L. Okay, integration of dl will be L. Then what is cos theta? Here theta means angle between magnetic field and length element. Theta means angle between magnetic field and length element. So what is the angle? See, this is our length element going in this direction. Our magnetic field also lies on the length element. So both create an angle of 0 degree. Okay, so magnetic field goes in this direction, our length element also in this direction. So we get the angle as 0 degree. If you put cos 0 here, then cos 0 value will be equal to 1. Okay, so we can say BL equal to mu naught I. What is I inside? How many current we have inside? We have only one current. Okay, only one current I. So instead of I inside, I take I. Okay. So what is L here? L means total length of the circular coil. We can say length as circumference. So in terms of circle, we can say length as circumference. So here length is nothing but circumference of the circle. Okay. So what is the formula for circumference of the circle? That is 2 pi r, 2 pi into radius. Here we take radius as a. So I can say 2 pi a. Okay. This is circumference of the circle. So our length will be equal to 2 pi a, circumference of the circle. Then mu naught I. Okay. So from this equation, take magnetic field B equal to mu naught by 2 pi, then I by A. Okay, similar to this equation. You see this equation? Here we get 4 pi 2I. If you cancel this, then you get the same equation, mu naught by 2 pi I by A. Okay, so from Ampere circuital law, by using Ampere circuital law, we derive the equation for magnetic field due to infinite straight current carrying wire. Okay, this is one important question. If they ask to find the magnetic field due to infinite straight current carrying wire using Ampere circuital law, then this is your answer. B equal to mu naught by 2 pi I by A. Okay, so again I repeat here, we have a wire which carries current I, infinite wire. We can consider a point P where we have to calculate the magnetic field. And we consider a circle loop. That loop is known as Ampere circuital loop, Ampere loop. Okay, so this is the top view. Using right hand thumb rule, current is coming outwards. Then my forefinger shows the direction of magnetic field. So my forefinger in anti-clockwise direction. So this is our direction of magnetic field at this point. If you take this length element, if you take another length element, you get here. If you take another element, you get here. So our length element, magnetic field both lies on the same direction. Okay, current is also flowing in this direction. We get magnetic field also in anti-clockwise direction. So our angle will be equal to 0. If you apply Ampere circuital law, so integration of dl will be equal to L, because we have to calculate the magnetic field for whole length of the wire. So for that we do integration of dl, we get L. L means circumference of the wire, circumference of the circle. So the formula is 2 pi a and mu naught I. So B equal to mu naught by 2 pi I by A. So this is our final equation. Okay. So this topic very similar to electric field due to charged shell. Okay, which we studied in applications of Gauss law. Electric field due to infinitely charged shell. So here we have to find the magnetic field due to infinitely long cylindrical wire carrying current on its surface. So we have to find the magnetic field inside as well as outside the wire. Okay, inside as well as outside the wire. At a distance r from its axis, the radius of the cylinder is taken as capital R. Okay, so here we have a cylindrical wire which is in the shape of cylinder. The length of the wire will taken as infinite in both ends. Okay, infinite in both ends. So the radius is given capital R. So this radius capital R in any place. Radius is taken as capital R. So it carries current on its surface. So I amount of current is flowing through the surface of the cylindrical wire. We have to find the magnetic field inside as well as outside the surface. So initially I take inside. I consider a point P here. So I have to find the magnetic field inside the surface, inside the cylinder, as well as outside the cylinder. I take here. Okay, this point taken as Q. So from the center point, I take this distance. Okay, this distance is R. So initially I consider the magnetic field inside the sphere. Okay, for inside, so for inside point P, my R is greater than small r. So here R means radius. Here R means distance from the center point. Okay, this is our center point, center axis. So distance from the center point to the point P where we have to calculate the magnetic field. The distance is taken as small r. So I can say our capital R has the greater distance than small r. Okay, for inside. Right? So I can draw this. So if you look at the cylinder from the top, it will appear like a circle. Okay, from the top, if you see it from the top, it will appear as a circle. Okay, here we have point P from the center point O. We can take the center point is O. So this distance is taken as R. So at point P, what we have to do? As usual, we have to draw a circuit, ampere loop, right? Ampere circuit loop. So at this point P, I draw one ampere circuit loop. Okay, I draw one ampere circuit loop. So this is my outer surface of the cylinder. It carries current. Okay, it can take the current is coming outwards. So it carries current on its surface, which is given in the problem. So this is my cylinder. I look the cylinder from the top. So this is the surface, top view of the cylinder, which carries current. Okay, current is coming outwards in every point. Current is coming outwards in every point of the cylinder. I consider a point P where we have to calculate the magnetic field. From the center point, the distance is taken as O. So at point P, I have to draw ampere circuit loop. Then only I can apply ampere circuit law for this loop, right? So I am going to apply the ampere circuit law for this loop to find the magnetic field at point P. Okay. So I can write ampere circuit law B dot dl, closed integral of B dot dl equal to mu naught I inside. Okay, mu naught I inside. So here, if you see this diagram, the current inside the loop, what is the amount of current inside the loop? If you see this diagram, current is flowing only outside the cylinder, that is outside this loop. Okay, so inside this loop there is no current. Inside this loop there is no current, because this is our cylinder. We consider a loop inside the cylinder. So our current is flowing only on the surface of the cylinder. So the empty parts which is inside the cylinder carries no current. So I can say the current inside the loop will be equal to 0. Right? So if the current is 0, then my magnetic field also will be equal to 0. Okay? So I get a cylinder. The inside of the cylinder will become empty space, right? Inside only we have empty space, only air. So current is flowing only on the surface of the cylinder, If I consider a loop inside the cylinder, then there will be no current flow inside the ampere circuit loop. So we know I means current inside the loop. So current inside the loop is 0. If our current value is 0, then magnetic field will also become 0. Okay. So this is for first case. Second case, for outside. So we consider a point outside the loop. Okay, this is our point. We consider a point outside the loop. So this is our distance. I take this distance as R. Okay, now our R is greater than the capital R. So I can write a small r greater than capital R for the second condition. Okay. So this is my cylinder from the top view. So in cylinder, on the every surface, I get current coming outwards. Okay. So on the surface of the cylinder, I get current coming outwards. Okay. So here I can draw a ampere circuit loop for inside. Okay. I can also draw an ampere circuit loop for outside. Okay, so this is this loop for inside and this loop for outside. So this is our cylinder, and I get the ampere circuit loop bigger than the surface of the cylinder. So I can draw. So this will be my ampere circuit loop. So this will be my ampere circuital loop. Okay, this is my cylinder. So I get a point from O to Q. I consider this distance as small r. Okay, then I know the radius of the cylinder taken as capital R, right? So for this I have to apply ampere circuital law. Closed integral b dl equal to mu naught I inside. So this is my Ampere's loop. So inside the Ampere's loop I get current, right? Inside the Ampere's loop I get current, I amount of current. Okay, so I can apply Ampere circuital law for this loop, right? So I can take b dl. To remove the dot product I add cos theta equal to mu naught I. I take I inside as I amount of current, right? Then b, we know integration of dl is L, and cos theta. Theta means angle between magnetic field and the length element. So if I consider any length element, my current is coming outwards. So by using right hand thumb rule, current is coming outwards. Fourth thumb finger shows the direction of magnetic field. So fourth thumb finger is coming this direction. Okay, so this is my direction of magnetic field at this point. So if I take any length element, I get the direction of magnetic field. Okay, if I take here, by using right hand thumb rule, my forefinger shows the direction of magnetic field. So this is my direction of magnetic field for any length element. So I take BL, then the angle between DL and B is 0. Okay, both are in same direction, so the angle is 0. So cos 0 is 1 equal to mu naught I. Okay, so what is L here? L means length of loop. Okay, length of the loop. So we know radius of the loop is R. So length, circumference. Length is equal to circumference of the circle. So circumference will taken as 2 pi r. Okay, not capital R, because capital R is radius of our cylinder. But here we take length as length of the ampere circuital loop, Ampere's loop. So Ampere's loop has the radius of small r, then the circumference will be equal to 2 pi into small r. Okay, equal to mu naught I. So from this equation I can take B equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r. Okay, so this is our final equation. From this equation I can say B is directly proportional to 1 by r. If my r value increase, then B value will decrease. So I can also draw a graph for this. So I take in y-axis magnetic field, in x-axis distance r. Okay, so initially for certain distance I get magnetic field is 0. In first condition I get magnetic field is 0 for certain distance. Okay, then I increase the distance. So initially I get 0. Then I increase the distance, I get the magnetic field because of the cylinder. Okay, so I get magnetic field for certain value, and the value of magnetic field further decrease as the distance increase. So my magnetic field further decrease inversely proportional when the distance is increase. Okay, so this is my capital R. So up to this capital R distance my magnetic field is 0. Okay, my magnetic field is 0. So at the point R I get maximum magnetic field, then further I decrease the distance. Okay, further I increase the distance, then what will happen? My magnetic field value will also decrease. Okay, so this is our conclusion. I can write B is inversely proportional to distance, right? So this is inside and this is outside. So inside our R is less than R, outside R is greater than R. Okay, so inside I get 0 magnetic field, then for outside Initially I get magnetic field up to this value, I get maximum magnetic field. Then after this value my magnetic field will reduce. Okay, my magnetic field value will get reduced. Okay, thank you.